Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, why do I still look like this when everyone else my age looks older? And then you step outside. People guess you're younger. They treat you like you're younger. Sometimes they even talk down to you like you haven't lived enough life yet. And you smile, but deep down you wonder, is it just genetics or does it mean something? Because here's the unsettling truth. Looking younger than your age isn't always about skincare. Sometimes it's psychology. And if you consistently look younger than your age, it can reveal a few hidden patterns about your stress, your identity, your habits, and even the way your brain handles life. Let's decode it. 1. Your nervous system might be calmer than most people's. You know what ages people faster than time? Stress. Not the busy week kind, the chronic kind. The kind where your body thinks danger is always around the corner. Psychology calls it prolonged hypervigilance. Your mind stays on alert even when nothing is happening. And when your nervous system lives like that, your body pays the price. Cortisol stays high, sleep becomes lighter, inflammation increases, and your face starts showing the story before you even tell it. But if you look younger than your age, it can mean your baseline stress response is lower, not because your life is perfect, but because your brain is better at returning to calm. You recover faster. You don't stay emotionally switched on for hours after something goes wrong. That's emotional regulation. And it's not just a mindset, it's a biological signature that shows up in posture, facial tension, and even how your eyes hold focus. Some people look older because they've been bracing themselves for years. Others look younger because they don't carry danger in their muscles. 2. You might have a youth identity and your brain follows it. Here's a strange psychological effect. Your identity shapes your behavior, and your behavior shapes your appearance. If you subconsciously see yourself as still young, you tend to move like it. You walk faster, you gesture more, you keep your voice lighter, you're more expressive. And expression is a big deal because people don't just judge age by wrinkles, they judge it by energy, by emotional tone, by presence. This connects to something psychologists call self-perception theory. Basically, your brain watches what you do and decides who you are. So if you keep acting curious, playful, and socially open, your brain reinforces that identity and it becomes a loop. You feel young, so you behave young. You behave young, so people treat you young. That loop can literally slow down how aged you appear to others. Not because time stops, but because your signals don't match the stereotype of your age. 3. Your lifestyle may be low damage, even if it's not perfect. Most people think looking young is about doing everything right, but it's often about avoiding a few things that silently wreck the body. The high damage trio is simple: bad sleep, high sugar and ultra-processed food, and constant social stress. You don't need to be a health guru. If you just have stable sleep, decent hydration, and fewer emotional roller coasters, your face stays softer, your skin holds more elasticity, your eyes look clearer, and your body doesn't hold that worn-out look. Psychology plays a role here too. People with higher conscientiousness, a personality trait, are more consistent with routines. They don't always have extreme discipline. They just have fewer chaotic swings. They don't go all in for 2 weeks, then burn out for 2 months. And routines are anti-aging because your body loves predictability. Also, there's a social factor. If you're not constantly trying to prove yourself, you tend to choose calmer habits, less late-night overthinking, less revenge scrolling, less "I'll sleep later" energy, and it shows. 5. You might be emotionally more independent than your peers. This one surprises people because emotional independence doesn't look strong. It looks peaceful. If you look younger than your age, it can mean you're not carrying as much emotional weight from other people. You don't absorb every mood in the room. You don't take every comment personally. You don't replay conversations for 3 days. That ability is connected to emotional intelligence, specifically boundaries, self-awareness, and low reactivity. And low reactivity keeps your face relaxed. Think about it. Some people's faces are constantly tight. Their jaw is clenched. Their brow is slightly tense. Even when they're smiling, they look like they're fighting something inside. That's what long-term emotional pressure does. But if you've learned to detach from drama, your nervous system stays cleaner. Not cold, just clean. You process emotions without letting them build a permanent home in your body. And over years, that becomes visible. Because aging isn't only biological, it's also the accumulation of unresolved emotion. 5. You may have a social perception advantage, and people reinforce it. This is where it gets a little scary. People don't just see your age, they guess it based on a few fast cues. And once they guess, they treat you accordingly. That's the halo effect. If you look younger, people unconsciously assume you're more adaptable, more energetic, less stuck, sometimes even more innocent. And when people treat you that way, you start behaving in ways that match it. You get interrupted more, but also forgiven more. You get underestimated, but also protected more. And you might notice something weird. You're not just younger looking, you're stuck in a social feedback loop where people keep reminding you of it. That can be a gift or a trap. Because if you always get treated like you're younger, you might delay certain identities. You might feel like you don't have permission to be serious yet. Or you might overcompensate, trying to prove you're mature. So if this is you, here's the real question. Do you enjoy looking younger, or do you feel trapped by it? Because how you feel about it changes everything. When you feel confident, youthfulness looks magnetic. When you feel insecure, it can make you feel unseen. And psychology explains that too. It's not about your face, it's about the meaning you attach to how people react to you. So what does it really mean if you look younger than your age? It can mean your nervous system recovers faster. It can mean your identity stays curious. It can mean your lifestyle is more stable than you realize. It can mean you're emotionally less reactive. And it can mean the world is constantly feeding you a certain story about yourself. But here's the most important part. Looking younger isn't the goal. Looking alive is. And the people who look alive aren't the ones who chase youth. They're the ones who protect their peace. They manage stress before it becomes personality. They sleep like it matters. They choose calmer relationships. They stop carrying emotions that don't belong to them. So if people always tell you you look younger than your age, don't just take it as a compliment. Take it as information. Your body might be telling you something you're doing right, or something you've survived without letting it harden you. If this hit a little too close, tell me in the comments, what age do people usually guess you are?